All right, my next guest at this time, representing an incredible band out of North Carolina, Smoke All That, Smoke from All the Friction, which is quite an incredible name. Cam Gillette is joining me right now. How's it going, sir?
That's going super well. How about yourself?
Oh, good. Thank you for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, let's go ahead and begin. How did this band Smoke from All the Friction begin? How did it all got started for you guys?
Well, I've been playing in bands for quite a long time, and then you kind of start just writing stuff that whatever band you're in, you start writing stuff that doesn't belong in that band, and after a while, you kind of get a big catalog of stuff. And I just started working with some random people, and I started trying to make that the kind of backlog of songs that had a reality.
So, for people that has not got a chance to hear y'all perform or hear y'all music online, how would you
hmm
best describe the sound that y'all bring, the type of music that y'all do?
Sure. In two words, I'd call it industrial pop. So like pop kind of has the connotation of Taylor Swift, and industrial has this kind of like dark electronic kind of feel. And we're trying to kind of play in between those two worlds. So some of the stuff is going to be pretty accessible and like kind of meet you where you are with some modern EDM and pop kind of vibes. Some is going to push you a little bit and be a little more darker and aggressive than you might be used to. And we're trying to find the middle ground between those two worlds.
So I've gotten a chance to hear y'all music on Reverb
All right, man.
Nation.
Awesome.
I definitely enjoyed the music, and then I've heard some music on Spotify as well. I've become a Spotify addict. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to set it on these airwaves whatsoever. Um, it is a really good platform, and you can
hmm
just look for someone. Bam, they right there for the most part.
hmm
Um, so let's go back in 2018. Um,
hmm
what was some favorite moments, favorite highlights, memories that stood out to you in 2018?
Absolutely. So like this May, and we released our first full-length album called Transient. And that was a pretty exciting album. It's kind of a difficult album for me to write because I was trying to, the whole theme of the album is assessing the reality that everything in your life changes. Like every friend that you have will only be your friend, but for so long, and like everything in your life is mortal, and realizing it's all changing, and learning to accept that as a young person is often pretty difficult and a hard lesson to learn. So that album is my exploration of a couple of different aspects of just how ever-changing and mortal life experience was. And so writing an album like that's kind of like requires a lot of personal development, which was a tough experience, but that was really a great thing. And the album release show that we had on that was just really great. Had a bunch of engagement. Was able to really kind of take these visions and this idea I had for this album and then actually be able to convey that in a live music sense was really exciting. We were able to have a pretty like epic light show, and it was a really cool experience. And then we actually released first full-length music video. So we had like a producer and a whole team that was able to work with us from one of the local arts colleges. And yeah, it's been really great. I've been able to have a lot pretty good engagement with a lot of fans and been able to like reach them on not just the musical level, but kind of a personal level, and let them be able to connect with the things that we're creating.
That is an incredible year that y'all have to have the album out, doing shows, and people just loving this record. I like the record myself. I like the type of music that y'all do as well. I
Oh,
guess
thank you.
I guess as I got older, I've grown to be a fan of a. I become a versatile music listener. I listen to all types of music, not just. I'm not in a box as a listener. Just
Yeah.
I'm. People will say that maybe I'm a bit too open per, per se, but the thing is, if my head is nodding and I'm jamming and I play this song on the radio from time to time, then I'm gonna walk with you. I'm gonna vibe with it. And
hmm
music has a way of connecting people, whether it's up close or from a distance. You know, music can be a way to escape from your problems, from your issues, from the real world, and just make you like, you know what, I needed that because there's just so much going on in this country right now. And every now and then, I'm just gonna crank up some smoke from all the friction and just say, you know what, I'm gonna just get out the way and just let me just enjoy this music. So this is some
No,
good music.
absolutely.
This is some good music that y'all have, and I look forward to hearing more of it in the future for sure. So as far as 2019, what do y'all have in store as far as this year? As maybe more shows, maybe new music, or y'all just gonna continue to promote the album that you already have out right now?
Yeah, so I mean, we always got to be evolving, you know. Like the world's changing quick, and I think it's our response as artists, you know, to always be trying to evolving and learning like the voice of the people. How can you communicate these ideas the best way? Because like what appeals to like a 14-year-old now may not appeal to a 14-year-old like 5 years from now or 5 years ago. I think it's really important to kind of keep your eye on the culture and how to speak their language so you can connect with them. So as far as 2019 is concerned, we're actually finishing up, I guess, pretty far into writing the next album. It'll actually be called Nuance. And it's funny you were saying that some of the stuff you were saying is I feel like a lot of the problems that we have and a lot of division and polarization that is created in America right now is a lack of nuance in the sense of we're not examining like the other side. We just automatically label the other side as this and not really trying to understand and see the details of why and how they got to their ideologies or their thinking, and realizing that like, wow, okay, I disagree with you at the top level, but pretty quickly there's a lot of things that we agree about. Let me examine it and try to see the world from your point of view a little bit. I'm not necessarily going to agree with you, but I'm going to try to understand. And so the next album is going to be called Nuance, and that's kind of be the overarching theme that we're going to try to be pursuing in that.
Definitely looking forward to that. I want to know as far as I've always heard some good stories about how does the name of groups and bands, how did that all happen? Smoke from all the friction. That is an incredible name. I just can't get enough of it. But
Yeah, it's a mouthful too.
I would love to be the announcer. Like, give it up for smoke from all the friction. Like,
It was like a wrestler from the '90s almost.
yes, some Howard
Yeah,
Finkel, some Mean Gene
yeah. So
Okerlund.
the origination of that name is I guess the when I first started this band, I was trying to intentionally put some things in my around me that would force me to grow. Because like I think in today's culture, it's really easy to surround yourself with people who tell you what you want to hear, or isolate yourself in non-social media or video games or whatever it would be. It's easy to put yourself in a place where no one's really pushing you or challenging you, and it's easy to become very stagnant and left behind by the culture around you and not grow. And so I noticed that a little bit in my music. I often work on stuff mostly alone, and I was like, okay, what happens if I take the approach of intentionally putting friction in my life? And by that I mean like friction is energy that is created when two opposing forces come together, and they create an energy they never would otherwise. And so with this band, I try to intentionally put a little bit of inconvenience in my life and put some boxes that force me to create things that I wouldn't otherwise. And that friction can be just working with another person. As soon as you collaborate with another person, you're going to end up in a new place. Or intentionally just limiting myself. I can only write this song with this instrument, or this song has to feel this way. Like intentionally putting restrictions and I guess they're almost inconveniences on me to see what I can create with these additional forces upon me. So that's where Smoke from All the Friction comes from.
It's definitely a intriguing name. Definitely it's one of those names that just makes people curious. Like, let me go listen. Make people let me just give this a listen, and once you listen to it, it's like, yeah, okay, we'll see what all the friction is all about. Uh, I'm very sure y'all get hit with the puns with that name from time to time. Uh, but as far as let's talk some music influences from you in particular. Who do you consider your musical influences, whether it's mainstream or indie? Who are your musical influences?
For me personally, like Nine Inch Nails was like a big one when I was like in early college and really starting to write music heavily, and particularly their frontman Trent Reznor, and because he was able to, he basically wrote all their music and recorded all their music. He basically wrote the entire thing by himself. I mean, he'd have other guys that worked with him, but it was mostly just in his head, and he was willing to spend the time to develop his skill both as a songwriter and as an instrumentalist and as a singer and as a production guy to really take the responsibility of all those different roles so he could focus and make his vision as clear as possible. And the way I think he did a good job of taking some kind of more obscure genres and putting a little bit of a more mainstream influence on them, so it made some darker and more niche genres accessible to the more common person. And so I kind of try to take that same mentality that he had with taking a lot of responsibility and taking on a lot more roles than most people do, as well as trying to make your music accessible to more people without like losing or pandering to an audience. So Nine Inch Nails is a big influence of mine. And they used a lot of like electronic stuff and like rock and metal instruments as well, and they made a lot of cool sounds that nobody else was making at the time. Let's see, Tool was a big influence of mine. They did a really good job. Like when I listen to Tool, I feel like I'm like in a different place a little bit, you know. And as far as some like more modern influences, honestly, if you listen to some like mainstream pop, like I've kind of tried to realize like, okay, what makes a Taylor Swift song good? Like why does this resonate with millions and millions and millions of people? So I wouldn't say they influence me in the sense that it's my favorite music, but they influence me in the sense of I respect those really like top 40 guys and more of the teams and producers behind them because they're able to make something that can reach so many people.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is a juggernaut. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, this woman can sell million records in her sleep, and I think she's done it more than any other artist in history. So it just shows that the fan base she has and whatever song she puts out, it's automatic. You know, I'm start calling her Automatic Swift from now on. But whatever works for her, it just works. Everybody has that formula of success, and she's got a very good formula. For Trent, Nine Inch Nails, like I know he does, the songwriting and the instruments, but I didn't know he do all the extra stuff, and that's pretty cool, and that's a rare thing for artists
Yeah.
these days, because people be like, I'm just gonna sing or rap, I'm just gonna write the song, I'm gonna record it, and I'll let everybody else do the other stuff. Um, but I guess for Trent, that's something that he embraced doing. Like he
Yeah,
wanted,
sure.
he wanted.
It's a lot harder. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, having other people involved can speed up the process. I mean, I think there's advantages because in the sense that you can get more voices in there. Sometimes you can create a better product. But I also think that it can kind of remove the original vision a little bit. So I think there's benefits and problems to both mindsets.
I definitely agree. The vision aspect, I guess can get in the way if someone else trying to put their own spin it or whatever. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Now for people that wants to learn more from your band and upcoming shows, why don't you go ahead and promote social media feeds for the band and go and promote some shows that y'all have coming up soon.
Sure. So we're super active on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll respond to most anything you post up there pretty quick. So, yeah, our band name Smoke From All the Friction. Just look up that on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll definitely got some stuff for you. And we play a fairly large amount of shows. The best way to keep up on that is to check out the Facebook. That's where it just goes to the events part on our page.
Go check out all that music. They on Reverb Nation. They on Spotify. They on some other digital music
Yeah,
platforms.
we're iTunes, Google Music. We're on just about everywhere.
So go check them out. Cam, it was great chatting with you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Congrats on everything so far, and I look forward to more from the band moving forward. Continued success, and you got any final words you want to say to the listeners out there?
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me have the platform for a second. And yeah, definitely come check out our album. I think there's some good stuff there for